What's up, guys? Connor King here with Resolute Capital. And today we're going to do a little Q&A where I take some questions we've found and answer them in a way that is hopefully very helpful to you. But this is a much more laid-back, casual vibe than you're probably used to on this channel.
All right, our first question is, if I have a chunk of money to invest, should I invest it all at once or should I space it out over time?
Great question. So spacing it out over time is called dollar cost averaging, which is a very common practice amongst investors. And then just investing it all at once, that's just is what it sounds like. And I do think historically that if you invest it all at once, you do have a better return. But also that's for sure more risky, because if the market tanks right when you did it, then you might lose a lot more money. But then that's sort of getting it. It's never good to time the market. And so the best thing to do is, if you're in a pretty good situation and you can afford to take more risk, you might as well just go ahead and invest it all at once. And if you're going to leave it in the market for 20, 30, 40 years, then it really won't matter. But if you're maybe older and you're a little more risk averse, then it might be a better idea to dollar cost average, just to give you some peace of mind. And even if the return isn't as good as it could have been, it'll still be pretty close and pretty good. And so that might just help you have more peace of mind. So really either one is good, but probably if you're younger and can afford to take just a bigger jump in, you should just do it all at once.
How much money do I need to have in cash? This is personal, not business.
Good question. That's a good question. You would at least want to have your emergency fund, which everyone says 3 to 6 months of expenses. And it's up to you to decide whether you want 3 or 6 months. The 3 months is really for someone probably single with a really stable job and not that many expenses. And so, they're not in a very risky point in life. But if you have a family with kids, maybe you work off a commission, then you would at least want 6 months, because your income could be very unknown. So most people would say, as far as the amount of cash you need to have on hand, definitely 3 to 6 months of expenses. But, it's probably a good idea to have at least your main emergency fund, but then just another, $5,000, $10,000 in cash, just to have to spend on smaller unexpected items. Or if you have, just a really small emergency that happens, you can spend it on that. If your car breaks down, just having a little extra might be kind of nice. And if you're saving for a house, you might want to save up a lot for a down payment or to pay off a house in cash. That could be something that you would need a lot of cash for. So it really would depend on your scenario, but for sure your emergency fund you would want in cash.
Say you had that $10,000 outside of your emergency fund, where would you keep that money? Or would you store it?
I would probably just store it in a high yield savings account, or, I might just keep it actually in cash, and I might just keep it in a little safe in my house. And, who knows what's going to happen with things in the world. And so it might just be nice to have $5,000, $10,000 in actual cash.
Next question is, what is a credit score?
Credit score, yes. Great topic of conversation. A credit score is your score that tells you several things. But in the best definition that I would like to describe it to other people is it's a score for how involved you are with debt, how frequently you use debt, and how good you are at paying off debt. So it's definitely all centered around debt. And that's the only thing that it's based off of. And it calculates several other things, like how much debt you have, how quickly you pay it off. But why people care about it so much is because your credit score, the better it is, it gets you access to more and more debt. And so the better credit score you have, the more debt you can take advantage of, and it makes your interest rates lower on the debt. And so you definitely, if you have a good credit score, it means you're really good at paying off debt, and you have probably used a lot of debt over the years. Personally, I don't care too much about my credit score because I try to stay away from debt, and so it doesn't matter that much. But definitely, if you are wanting to get a loan on a car, house, having a high credit score can make it a lot easier on you and can really help you out. But I would advise just the best thing to do is hopefully stay away from debt as much as you can and just save up cash for anything. But back to the simple answer is your credit score really all has to do with debt. And so if you stay away from debt, then you won't have a credit score. All right, guys, I hope that my answers to these questions have helped you a little bit. Feel free to still do your own research on my answers and check them with more facts because I'm not a financial expert, and you should always consult a professional financial advisor before making any decisions with your money. But I hope this video has helped you, and I will see you in the next one.
The next question we got is simply, what is a credit score?
Oh, man.
I will try this one again.
What is a credit score?